Hi, I'm Shaul. Regular viewers of my channel will know by now that I'm quite obsessed with the concept of true-to-life rendition. It might seem like I'm some kind of fundamentalist looking at the issues of image rendering from a tiny pinhole with no context. But I would like to explain what my obsession stems from. You see, in documentary photography, there is a concept of authenticity. The resulting image should be unaltered. It should represent reality and authentic, in a true manner. The image should depict a place and a moment in time in a way that lets the viewer observe or witness exactly what happened, when it happened. That is quite obvious, but I would like to argue there is more to it. At least this is what I try to do. What I am striving to achieve is authorship. I am trying to tell stories told from a specific vantage point, my vantage point as an artist or as a storyteller, by using specific moments, specific photographic tools that are deeply rooted in the physics of photography. The resulting image has to elicit a response in the viewer, either an emotional response or an intellectual response. But in order to do that, the image has to look true. It has to give the viewer the sense as if he were there, inside the image, involved in the place and time, and make them curious about what happened, what is the wider context of the situation depicted in the image. If the visual document that results from my efforts looks contrived or posed or too manipulated, the result will lack credibility, and the impact on the viewer would never be the same. The aesthetic value of documentary photography, of authored documentary photography, is only secondary. Of course, we all like to look at beautiful images, but first and foremost, they have to be true. They have to be authentic, lifelike. To achieve that, I use certain attributes, photographic attributes that are rooted in physics. For example, I use a wide field of view to include a lot of context in the image, to show the viewer the whole setting. I rarely try to focus or to isolate a subject. I try to include the subject in the scene to make it evident where and when the image was taken. I also try to shoot from a closer than comfortable distance. The slight exaggeration in the perspective of human faces makes the impression of the images stronger. There is a sense of intimacy by getting close. I also try to use depth of field deliberately. By that I mean keeping the whole image relatively sharp, but then using a slight selective focus to show the viewer where to direct their attention. I use slightly longer exposures than would be recommended because I want to show some motion blur in my images to convey the life of my human subjects, to make everything more credible, more immersive. And then finally, I use true-to-life lenses that convey the scene in a very eye-like way. You see, many lenses, many modern lenses that contain a lot of low dispersion glass make images look like they were taken through a window, a very clear and sharp window, but still a window. Those lenses transmit too much contrast to the sensor. They are very good at defining edges and fine detail, but they do not treat blobs of color and tone in an optimal way. Those blobs, those tonal blobs are where life happens. This is how we observe the world with our naked eyes. Lenses that do not contain much extra low dispersion glass, lenses that have denser glass types, high refractive index glass, slow the speed of light passing through them, and in a way they resist light. They can extract more tonal nuance from the light, and they convey the scene in a more eye-like manner. That causes the curvature of surfaces to be conveyed in a more natural way, letting our brains interpret the volume or the weight of objects, and by extension the depth of the scene. When you use all those elements, those photographic principles together, magic happens. then you feel really immersed in the scene. You feel the scene. You feel close to the subjects. You feel as if you were inside the image, inside the scene. You can feel the temperature in the room. You can feel the energy, the human energy, the joy, the pain. You don't only relate to the scene depicted, to the moment depicted. You are actually there. You can tell what the subjects of the photograph had for dinner. You can tell their mood. You can guess what the subject of the conversation was. That is what I mean by authorship. It's more than authenticity. It's the art of telling stories. Now, the thing is, you cannot replicate this type of photographs in post-production. You can sometimes recreate that full contrast, that tonal nuance that I'm talking about. But the way to actually achieve it in processing is counterintuitive. It goes against the grain because you have to degrade the image in a way. You have to add simulated chromatic aberration. You have to reduce the sharpness, somehow eliminate edges. And there are no presets that can do it because each image uses slightly different settings. There is a differing corrective protocol. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I have tried to demonstrate how to recreate this true-to-life rendition in post. Most of the time you can just not retrieve all the lost nuance. It's too subtle. So the key is getting the look you want during exposure by combining the right lenses with the right compositional tools. Yes, I do shoot RAW, but that is only to correct the white balance and sometimes slight corrections to the exposure. I don't crop, I don't sharpen, I don't alter the image in any significant way. I don't remove anything from what was captured. I don't straighten wonky horizons. I don't do anything to the content of the image because it would not be fair to the subject. It would not be fair to the viewer to show them something processed, something fake. Now, what I do is documentary photography. Of course, in other genres, and especially in art photography, all those tools are not only allowed, but encouraged, because the aesthetics of the image have a much more prominent place. The images are made primarily to please the viewer, to impress them, to inspire awe. Right, I know I probably wasn't able to explain all this in a very coherent manner, but well, at least I tried. Maybe I will keep talking about it in a future video. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you find this subject interesting, if you find my channel helpful in any way, please buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. You know, it's a nice gesture between gentlemen. So, until the next time, goodbye.